Welcome back to Peter and Roughie's Football Show. Thomas Jordan is here in the studio with us as well, looking resplendent in all the new gear, Roughie, that he's bought for tonight's show.
Yes, wonderful. It's a wonderful design, very shiny, very chic.
And of course, for anyone who hasn't actually watched the show before, Roughie, what they will realise over a long period of time is your vast array of a similar style shirt.
Yes.
You like stripy?
Yes, I have. But I mean, you've been talking about it so much now. As the days go on, I think my wardrobe will have to change. Because I'm now being very conscious of when I go into my wardrobe what I'm putting on.
I think I'd be glad if you just changed, not the wardrobe.
That's a very good point, Thomas. We've discussed Roy Keane. He's decided not to be considered for the job. Of course, all sorts of names being put forward, and as the programme goes on, day in, day out, undoubtedly more names will come to the forefront. Just on that point, before we move on to other topics, is the Celtic job still a high-profile enough job to attract the likes of a Malky Mackay, which is something that I've discounted? You think he should still be in with a shout for the job? Yeah,
well, most of the guys that you've mentioned there, Peter, have got Celtic connections, so they'll know what it's all about. They'll know what it's like to be with Celtic and to play for Celtic. So I think Malky Mackay, has done everything. He's done nothing wrong at all, and I definitely think that Malky Mackay, that would appeal to him, that job.
Yeah, I don't agree with Roughie, Thomas.
No, I disagree myself. I think Malky Mackay would earn probably 2, 3, 4 times as much as Cardiff manager, and I also think you have to ask yourself, why has Neil Lennon left the post? He wants to try and get a job in England, whether that be the Premier League or the Championship. It would be very strange for me, for someone that is in with a chance of a job down there as Malky Mackay would be, to then sacrifice that and come back up the road.
Okay, before we move on to World Cup issues, and of course something closer to home with Gary Holt's decision to leave Falkirk, we'll discuss that, but time for a wee bit of fun in the second half of the programme, and I think it's only right and proper we give you some sporting facts, some musical facts, Roughie, and a wee bit of the movies thrown into the mix for this summer special. Okay, get ready for this. Timothy Dalton is James Bond in this year. At 26 million, watch Hilda Ogden leave Coronation Street. 26 million, Roughie. Brian McClare is the Premier League's top goal scorer. On TV, you could watch French and Saunders. This was in the charts. Inspector Morse was also on television. There, suddenly, maybe. This was also in the charts. And Going Live. Do you remember Going Live, Thomas?
Nope.
You're not going to be very good at this year. You could watch RoboCop, Predator and Full Metal Jacket in the movies. There you have it. Oh, early guesses, Roughie. Don't tell us, because we're going to give the answer on tomorrow night's programme.
I see.
But what decade do you think you're in for this one?
Well, obviously the clue, we're all going to latch on to one of the clues. One of the clues is obviously one of the early ones you gave then. The Hilda Ogden for me was one that gave it away. So,
which for the benefit of everyone, you are a Corrie fan.
Yeah, well, obviously, way back then, I think everybody was watching it, and
No, there was 26 million other people who weren't.
Yeah, but it was a tragedy when she left. She was a great character, so I think round about the 80s.
Yeah, Thomas, were you?
I was going to go 80s myself.
Yeah. Okay, then I'm going to get your answer, not on air, but we'll get your answer tomorrow night. Thomas, you can leave yours on a bit of paper, and it gives us a chance to cane you when you're not on tomorrow night's programme. Okay, to a serious allegation. It first ran in the Sunday Times at the weekend, which was allegations of bribery and corruption within the committee that was selecting the World Cup. Now, this relates to Qatar in 2022. It's a long way to go before anyone actually has concrete evidence that will hold up in a court before a decision is made, Roughie.
Yeah, but I think we're all still trying to get our head round, how it was decided it was going to be there. I can just imagine, 20, 24 people sitting around a table and Qatar comes up and nobody ever stuck their hand up and said, is it not too warm at that particular time of the year? And but they didn't, and it went through, and that's why everybody was a bit suspicious about the votes that were coming in. And now we're beginning to understand that there has been money sort of passed about?
Well, allegations
Okay,
of money.
yes.
Yeah, but with that in mind, Thomas, before he takes us down the road we don't want to go, with that in mind, Thomas, I can remember when we were all there waiting for the golden envelope to be opened, and more than a few raised eyebrows when Qatar came out.
Yeah, it was a surprise, and slowly but surely things have been filtering out over the decision. I think it was a surprise. It really was. That's the one word you could use to describe it. And I think if these allegations are proven to be correct, then at least there's plenty of time to come up with a new destination for the competition. But it's a huge story and huge implications for the people involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they've got more than, I'm led to believe the suggestion is that there are thousands upon thousands of documents to try and back up this case, emails the lot. But the one thing I would say, it's going to take a few years because there could be, two sets of appeals, and you have to be rock solid on this, because if there's even a chink in the armour, suddenly, FIFA are putting themselves in a very sticky wicket. And already I've heard people thinking that if this was indeed the case, then they were calling for Sepp Blatter's head. I think it's a wee bit too early for that at the moment.
Yeah, I think it is, Peter. But I was reading, I hope I'm correct, that
Yeah, so do we.
Sepp Blatter wasn't for Qatar. I think he was for America.
Yeah.
I think it was Michel Platini that pushed forward the Qatar vote.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll get off the hook with this one.
Yeah, well, as ever, I think the first thing to do is to try and prove, as you mentioned there, Thomas, any wrongdoing. But we'll keep a close eye on that story. Peter and Roughie's Football Show, Monday to Friday. Of course, STV Glasgow. We're delighted to have you all on board. Every night we'll have a guest in the boot room. And of course, we'll have the likes of Thomas coming in here, showing us his gear from the 90s, and yourself, Roughie, from the 60s, and me just be delighted if I could afford any more gear. But every night you can join us. We're going to talk football, and especially the World Cup, because I'm looking forward to it, Roughie. As a young boy, and I don't know if it's right or proper that I should tell you, is it bad that I had the complete 1974 World Cup album with all the stickers in it? Is that something to be embarrassed about?
No, I think every young boy out there who collects stickers, and I see they're up and running out just now. So
Yeah.
even the young kids just now are getting on to that collecting, and I'm sure you must have a wonderful collection.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's so difficult to get. In 1974, Roughie, I mean, I swapped, a number of. I didn't have you because you weren't good enough at that period to be selected for Scotland. But you had so many great players that I was swapping, for the likes of Gregor Lato, and Jarzinho was still playing. Ken Dalglish was there.
And did you have many friends back there that you could swap your doublers?
No. I was basically on my own in the street, to be honest.
I was just going to say the one thing you definitely didn't swap for your stickers was your lunch.
Yeah, no. By the way, I can see the way this show's going. In the end, there'll be a scuffle and then a fight. Just quickly before we go to the headlines, what do you make of Gary Holt saying goodbye to Falkirk? That was a shock. He's gone back to Norwich as assistant.
Yeah, but it's a great move for him. I think Norwich are a club that will try and bounce back immediately from the Championship into the Premier League, and it's a great challenge for him. He done well at Falkirk, and they'll have to find a decent replacement now.
Okay, interesting stuff there. Let's go to the football headlines with Taggart's. And the headlines tonight. We've got Mark McGee, of course, telling us that he thinks Steve Clarke may well be the ideal candidate to come in if Roy Keane has indeed decided to opt against the Celtic job. But there are other candidates out there that the Scotland assistant feels will be well up for the job, as well as the story of Roy Keane knocking back the Celtic job. There are allegations of bribery and corruption following the Qatar World Cup bid, and that story's got a long way to go. Over and above that, Gary Holt has quit Falkirk and decided to take up the position as the assistant at Norwich City, where he played his football. That's your Taggart's football headlines. Thomas Jordan and Alan Ruff are with me here in the studio. As ever, we try to cram as much football into this programme as ever, and as people will find out day in, day out, Roughie, on a Monday to Friday. We get guests from all over the divisions.
Yes, we certainly do. We like to get the guys on for Stirling, Albion, Falkirk, East Fife, anywhere at all, and it's great to get the guys in here if they can come in and chat to them about their lifestyles, and we get to know a lot more about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are some who just reveal a little bit more than they would normally reveal. And we've actually, from time to time, Roughie, had guests who would perform a dance in the studio.
Yeah, we've had dancers. We've obviously had somebody playing the guitar. Who
Yes,
I'm sure we could maybe persuade him to do it again
Oh,
on air. I don't think you need much persuading.
Well, listen,
but,
to be honest with you, knowing the entire Glasgow area is watching him, I'm almost certain Gordon Smith will play guitar for us. My thanks to Thomas Jordan for that quick little chat. There's lots more chat to come with regards to the football headlines. Join us every Monday through till Friday here on Peter and Ruffy's Football Show.